Hello, and welcome to episode 22 of Anime and Us Other. I'm PJ.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is the review show that reviews anime movies. There is no intro to this show because it changes every time we have to do one of these. So, whatever. Go.
The intro is now you explaining that every time it's different. That's the intro. Alright, Cowboy Bebop the movie. Known in Japan as Cowboy Bebop Knockin' on Heaven's Door. Came out in 2001, and it takes place between episodes 22 and 23.
I don't think that's what it's known as in Japan. Because that's a name.
Sure. Fine. Known in Japan as Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop Tengoku no Tobira lit, Cowboy Bebop Heaven's Door.
You may continue your explanation now.
Well, I did it already. Came out in 2001, and it takes place between episode 22 and 23. That was really it. Box office $3 million. We should probably do that with box office.
Yeah,
I wonder what it costs to make a movie. I'm sure it was successful.
Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't have a budget on there.
Well, let's type in budget.
Yeah. That's why I was the bug. Cowboy Bebop the bug.
I can't type. Off. Cowboy Bebop the movie budget. All three of the Lord of the Rings movies were made.
Get the skull past Google's crappy.
Oh, okay, there we go. Domestic box office, $100,000. That doesn't make any sense. International box office, close to $7,000. Worldwide, $100,000. Blu-ray sales. That doesn't make any sense because it said $3 million.
Yeah, I don't know.
Opening weekend, and then here's that opening weekend, 231,000. Sorry.
Actually, just get out of this. Go back and scroll down. There should be go to IMDb.
I doubt that's going to show. Well, I don't really go on IMDb too often. So.
Not there yet.
Box office.
Oh, there you go.
What? No! Can I not exit past this?
Just look behind it.
And paid version of IMDb so we can see box office and shit. Such horseshit.
It's
box office, it's stuck.
Yeah,
it's stuck behind the paywall. We can't. That's terrible. Try me. Do I have to sign in? I'm not signing in. Maybe I can just. I know Sarah has an account, but
yeah, no. Go back. Scroll down.
Let's find another one. We're on this mission. Well, let's find budget. It made $3 million. Budget game. No. Apparently there's a game. All three of the Lord of the Rings.
Well, hit the movie blog. What's that one?
Where? Here.
Oh, no, that's how much it would make the cost.
Tomatoes, maybe.
Critics gave it a 60%. So 90% was cool.
90, yeah, it's fair for audience. Come on!
Let's keep going.
Cast and crew, critics, audience reviews. I don't think we're going to find it.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sure we could if we really wanted to. Last chance. Okay.
That's weird.
Oh, well. We tried. Apparently it made $3 million in the box office, but I wonder what the budget was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a success.
We don't do research on this show.
For the one time we tried. Don't edit a second of that.
There.
Alright, so the movie. Between episode 22 and 23, Faye and Ed are still on the ship. They're still part of the crew.
Yeah, actually, before you get that, I own this DVD too, so I got trailers for this too. They're weird.
Go ahead.
So, there's one for We're in the Dark and I can't see. Sorry. Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis?
Nope. Osamu reminds me of World Trigger, though.
Metropolis, that was a big one, now that I think about it. Classic anime. We should probably put that in the movie.
No. Sounds terrible. Might be good.
Metropolis?
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's prejudging. For some reason, there was also a trailer for Bad Boys 2.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. And I Spy, a comedy spy movie with Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson.
Oh, you haven't seen that? No. I watched it when I was a kid.
No. Then there was two more anime movies. Katsuhiro Otomo is the guy who wrote Akira.
Okay, I don't know.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got two movies. One's called, it's like a compilation of 3 different movies called Memories.
That sounds boring.
And another one called Steam Boy.
Oh, Steam Boy. I know of the. I know the art. I don't think I ever watched it. I dated a girl in high school named Lee who was rich.
Okay.
Rich. Lives in actually. That's them. Anyway, she wanted me to watch that and some other shit. I just was trying to get it. Yeah, I was a teenager.
And yeah, I mean, there's a couple of movies that
she was an artist, and part of my quest to get laid was to obviously to make her like me and stuff.
Yes.
So for school, she had to do a painting, for a scholarship because she was about to go to college, and she did a painting of me. I'm I had black hair at the time, like a bowl cut black hair.
Okay.
Dyed. I'm blonde. And I'm shirtless, facing away from her, with my hands in my back pockets. And she made this. It's a good painting.
I don't doubt it.
And someone bought it from like the school auction for like $200. So somewhere there's a painting of me in someone's house. That happened. I think I had a picture of it on my Facebook for the longest time until they deleted it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, bad memories.
Oh, God. Anyway, there was also a trailer for Triple X that in the movie.
Oh, Christ. No, well, the first one was okay. Did you see the sequel?
I didn't see any of them.
Cube? It's terrible. The first one's like an action summer blockbuster. Who cares?
Right.
The second one is just like a cheesy ripoff.
I just thought it was strange to have those trailers mixed in with anime trailers on a Cowboy Bebop DVD.
Same. I'm sure it's just because like their parent company or sister company paid for it to be on there.
Yeah. Anyway, now we can get back into the movie. Now that your personal story.
That was funny though. Anyway, so between episodes 22 and 23, Sophia and Ed are still there. It's full crew, and there's a bounty for this hacker. Is it just a hacker or is it a terrorist hacker?
I guess we're doing the premise.
Yeah, right. Premise.
Yeah, but we never said it. We always
Premise.
There you go.
And there's a bounty for like 300 million wolongs.
Yeah, okay.
I know they're currency.
It's a good show.
And there's a bounty, so they go to hunt the bounty, and he's good at what he does. The guy's the next soldier. They figure it out.
No, that's not what happened.
Fuck fire.
They're hunting a bounty. You're right about that. But when they come across the bounty, the truck explodes with the bounty that's after.
Oh, right. Faye was after him.
And then it turns out there's another guy behind everything. And this guy, the explosion is a virus kind of thing. It's airborne virus.
It's nanomachines that are built off of proteins. So they're not actual machines. It's more of a virus than anything, right?
Right.
But there's good ones and bad ones. The bad ones kill everything. The good ones will defend you from them. And I think heal your wounds. No. Because he was holding a grenade on a train at one point, and it went off. They didn't show him go away from it.
Yeah, no. Well, there are good ones. He is inoculated against it for some reason. He's got a cure inside him. And his blood is what allows...
I'm pretty sure it's just good nanomachines. That all the soldiers had. She didn't even know she had it.
They didn't say that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They said,
but I'm pretty certain that's what it is.
He's got a cure, and his blood.
Yes, I'm pretty sure what the cure is nanomachines.
No, because the cure destroys an enemy.
Well, they destroy the other ones. They destroy the bad ones. I'm pretty certain that's what it is. I might be completely wrong.
I don't want to argue that.
I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Techno science of Cowboy Bebop movie with you. Go ahead, continue with the premise.
I mean, that was it. They're chasing the guy down. That's the premise.
And he's trying to...
He's the bounty. He's a terrorist. He wants to blow shit up, kill people.
He's trying to just kill everybody on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Are they on Earth?
No, they're on Mars.
Okay.
Because Earth is a shithole in the series.
Yeah, but they get to Earth a couple... I mean, everywhere's kind of a shithole in this series.
Yeah, but Earth is surrounded by meteors that are constantly crashing into it.
Which I think is more debris. Is it meteors, or is it, like, broken spaceships and shit?
I think it's a broken gate that exploded, and it's constantly crashing. It's unlivable.
For the next 100 years, and then it'll be livable once everything crashes.
I mean, sure, but that's 100 years from...
Oh, yeah, sure, but I mean, there's other places to live. It's not that terrible.
I mean, it's still a shithole. Everything's falling apart, and they have to go down in one episode. They get a Betamax VCR and swim, 40 feet down and go through broken...
Yeah, no.
It's the whole...
It's a shithole.
It's a shithole. And why are we...
But not forever is what I'm saying.
We're talking about the movie, not the series.
Sure, but the movie is in the series.
Sure. Yeah. Just continue in the last review.
Essentially. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what we're doing. Except it's more about this specific episode that's really a movie.
Yes.
An hour and 55 minutes. It's a really long movie for an anime.
I felt it too, because it just felt like a really long
episode. Which, I kind of... Not this long. I think... all the individual episodes should have been an hour to an hour and a half. And there should have been less of them. So instead of the 10 different stories, I'm guesstimating how many there were, there could have been 4. And they each could have been an hour and a half. Because each individual story is fairly interesting. And there could be more of it, which would be better. But so many different ones makes me care less about them.
I don't know. I think I would be tired. If they were super long like that.
Sure, but there's less. That's my point.
Yeah,
so, like, after watching this movie, I was like, oh, it would have been nicer if those episodic ones were kind of like this.
But you said an hour and a half, and you said 4 of them, right? So that's 20 minutes an episode. So it's going to even out to the same amount of episodes because it's just...
Yes, it would. But my point is that it would be less individual stories.
Yeah,
although I like the individual stories, there's too many of them, and the show gets muddled in between them.
I don't know. I just, like, if they were all like this, I would...
this, but shorter. This was too long.
Yeah.
I think an hour to an hour and a half would have been perfect.
I don't know. It would have depended on how they executed the stories. And that would have to been fantastic stories. Sure, those stories are interesting, but
I think the reason why I think they were less interesting than we wanted them to be is because there were so many of them.
No, what I'm saying though is if you extend those stories, I don't think they
hold up as well.
Yeah, I think they would have fallen apart.
But I mean, you add in things. You don't just make a scene longer.
Yeah, I know, but like that whole episode, I don't think works if it's long.
Yeah, well, maybe not that one.
I'm just saying
because I'm saying less.
What do you want? A whole hour and a half of bloody eye or whatever it is?
Maybe. Yeah, I actually liked that episode because it had the kid that he was training.
No. I'm talking about the person.
Oh, maybe it was a different episode.
That had bloody eye in it too.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
With the blind sister.
Yes. But like that, something like that would be better longer. Like, give me an hour and a half. So, like, my problem with this is, I've picked this up many times. Said this before. You can't introduce a character and then kill them off in the same episode. When it's only 20.
Every episode.
In every anime and every episode of pretty much Cowboy Bebop, they do that. And there's no connection. I don't care. So if you give me an hour to an hour and a half, I'm building up, maybe this character lives and becomes part of the Bebop or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they die, okay, well, that's a little more important than 20 minutes of me not giving a shit about this character.
That's fair. There wasn't really many connected characters. There's a few.
There's a few.
There's not a lot. All right, back to this movie.
The one connected character that I liked was the chick.
Oh, in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was decent because she wasn't... This isn't a Lupin movie where they introduced a love interest just to have a love interest and just to kill her off.
She's got, like, skills. She's got a point. There's a reason why she's there, not just to be eye candy for her spite.
Yeah, and she's an integral part of the plot. The plot wouldn't work without her.
Well, it's still kind of... It's not like she's the only one with the nanomachines or whatever.
Well, I mean, sure, you could put another character in there, but you would still need a character like that. You know what I mean?
Not really. You could have gotten the cure from his blood. Maybe some blood fell on the ground, they picked it up. Like, that could have been worked around. But she fits, and there's reason for her to be there.
I mean, technically, you're right, they don't need it, because at one point, main villain captures Faye and kisses her and gives her his blood.
Yeah, and
that was rapey.
It was a little rapey. It was even a little bit more rapey when he undid her top.
Well, he was going to there, and then he got interrupted.
And my wife was watching, and she was like, oh, this is that kind of show. That tells you about my wife's fantasies. Anyway, more to the premise.
You're right. This guy's a terrorist.
It's hard to make this one bigger.
Is the government behind it?
No. So the government was behind the nanomachines, yes. But they wanted to cover it up. So that's why there were bad cops towards the end.
But no.
Trying to kill anything that was associated with it.
But it was the government, right?
Yeah, a certain sect of the government. It's like the FBI is doing something, but that doesn't mean it's the whole government. So
essentially the government, military, or whatever, is the one trying to hire the bounties, and they got that's where the extra character comes in. She used to work with the other guy and stuff like that.
The main terrorist.
And they're kind of the real bad guys. Well, they're bad guys, and so is the guy that's trying to kill the world.
Yes.
But they're the ones that made the guy who tried to kill the world, so that happens. And, it's a bunch.
There's fighting, Faye's in it. She's kind of naked at some points, but not really.
Faye's in it, but she's captured for a lot of it.
Yes, for most of it. For 40 minutes in the middle.
Right, and it's because they all get separated, and then they all converge at the end. Mm-hmm. And essentially, the guy is about to complete his plan.
Back to more of the collateral damage things and how they just don't give a shit. So at the end, they're trying to spread the vaccine to everybody because he's going to blow it up, and there's really not much they can do. Like, he's going to do it, and he's going to infect everyone in the city. And so they're spreading the vaccine around. There's a whole subplot to that. But part of the subplot is Faye needing to turn the weather control on so it rains. So she goes to the weather station place, and she just walks in and starts shooting her gun and says, "Make it rain, bitch!" Essentially. And it's like, I get that you have to make it happen, so you do need to walk in with a gun, but you don't just start shooting randomly. Like, how do you not get arrested for that?
hostage at that point.
Yeah, I mean, even just unlawful discharge of a firearm.
To be fair, the military is kind of distracted at the moment.
Yes, but like afterwards, like there would be a bounty on your head tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just said, "Hey, this crazy woman ran in and shot this gun and made it rain. Who is she?"
Sure, but there's cameras. They know who she is. Come on, this is way more technologically advanced than us.
It is, but it's just shitty technological.
Only because it came out in the 90s. If this came out nowadays, it probably wouldn't.
No,
be
what I mean, everything in this world
is
is shitty. Like, so maybe the cameras weren't working. Now.
I doubt it. All I'm saying is, like, it would make a little more sense for her to walk in and point the gun at me, like, you're in charge. All right, do this now. And then, like, okay, well, I kind of had to do that because I was
maybe she
life.
threatened them and they were
scared. But like, same with Spike and just blowing shit up.
Yeah, well,
it's like you would probably get arrested tomorrow.
I mean,
like, yes, thank you for saving everybody. Handshake. Here's a cuffs. You're going to jail.
Jet's not much better. He goes and gets antique planes to fly, and they're crashing all over.
That was great.
They're crashing as they're taking off and stuff. So,
and like, meanwhile, his Hammerhead ship works fine. Their starship, whatever, the Bebop works fine. Faye's ship works fine.
They needed 20 though.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, so he's gonna poison a Halloween parade. Is there a Halloween parade? I never saw a Halloween.
Yeah, sure. I mean, essentially what I did with everyone last Halloween was a quote-unquote parade. It was a bar crawl. So we were set up from bar 1 to bar 5, and you'd go from each bar to each bar, and the road's closed off. Like, we're walking down the middle of the road. Everyone's in costumes. It's essentially a parade.
Well, I meant more like a Macy's Day.
I'm sure there is.
I don't think I've ever seen a big.
I don't think anyone gives a shit. It's Halloween. Yeah, just go out and go trick or treat and go home.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
But I'm sure there is. There's definitely ones in Mexico. The whole Death Day thing. It's essentially Halloween.
It's different. That's a religion.
It's different, yes, but it's essentially.
Whereas Halloween's just a harvest.
Yeah, it's essentially
Halloween. Whatever. Culturally insensitive today.
As always.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably big over in Japan too, because they're really big into our holidays now.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I heard like Christmas and stuff's got really big.
Well, it's also a lot in anime, right? Like Christmas,
right?
Fireworks, not necessarily 4th of July because they don't have that, but like fireworks in general. But I don't think I've ever seen an anime where they're like dressing up for Halloween.
I think it's gotten popular in recent years.
It should be. I mean, it's about kids having fun, and like, yeah, I get the whole like it's commercialism, getting you to buy shit, spend money. But at the same time, it's like, there's nothing wrong with dressing up one day out of the year and letting kids have fun.
Yeah.
Remember, do you know Shawn?
Probably.
Decent enough guy. Probably shouldn't have said his name on air.
Probably not.
Not that it really matters. But he was, like, super religious and, like, but, like, fake religious. He's not really religious. But, like, he wouldn't let his kids dress up for Halloween. I was like, what are you doing, dude? But, like, fake religious in the sense of, like, he goes to church, preaches all this jazz, you should do this, you shouldn't do this. Has a 3-way with his wife. You should bleep his name out. Yeah,
I will. I already have.
Has a 3-way with his wife, and then afterwards, like, is texting the girl on his own, trying to sleep with her without his wife, and like, they get divorced and everything, of course. But it's like you always preach marriage, and like their version of marriage and his specific Christian church was like the wife and the husband come before the kids, because without the marriage working, how can you raise good children? And like. I get it, but I'm also against it. Like, you're responsible for children. You gotta raise them and make sure they're decent. Like, you can not fight right now, and you can fight at 10 p.m. when the kids are asleep. You know, get what I'm saying? Get that argument out later. Just give the kids a good dinner and get them to bed. But, like, he preached that kind of stuff, and then cheats on his wife, and like, dude, you're fake.
They're all...
Not all of them. There's plenty of good religious people that are decent. The exceptions, man.
I was going to qualify my statement, but the majority of them are hypocritical. Like,
I don't even know about the majority. I think the same thing with like the vocal minority of like political groups. It's like you see them more often. It's more interesting to talk about the guy that cheated on his wife than it is to talk about the 300 people that go to a church and are just quiet Christians.
That's fair, but there at some point they have done something that was hypocritical.
Oh, sure. I mean, but that's kind of the whole idea of sinning and repenting.
Yeah, I know.
I get that.
That's why I said they're all a tiny bit hypocritical. And
sure, I feel like everyone is, though.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but
anyway, we should go back.
It's one thing to preach to other people that you're doing something wrong and then be hypocritical, and then just being hypocritical and being not preaching. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Back to the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is the review. It's good.
It's a good movie, yeah. It's
Spike meets his match for the most part, but he wins in the end.
Yeah, so one thing that stood out, the music was a little weird to me.
Was it?
Yeah, I think the music, it felt like they were trying to match the Cowboy Bebop style, but didn't quite reach
I wonder if there's like a different head of the music department, whatever the that's called. I wonder if there was like a different person for the movie versus the show.
It wasn't bad, I felt like it was trying a little too hard to be Cowboy Bebop. And then the stylized open and ending, just showing the random people, just showing off the animation. So that was weird too. But, whatever. It's a good movie. Yeah, let's end this.
I would rate it higher than most of the Lupin movies. Only because they're so boring. Even though it's high quality, but this is high quality.
Yeah, this is still like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah. Maybe a tiny bit lower. Maybe an 8. Maybe a 7-8 versus an 8-9.
Yeah, you're right. It's still, it's not as good as the show. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. So it's probably a 7 or 8. But it's still a 7 or an 8. It's still Cowboy Bebop at its core.
Yeah. And the opening, maybe not the opening scene, maybe it is the opening scene with at the Stop and Shop.
Oh, it's
that was cool. I like that.
The opening scene was them showing just a bunch of random people.
Well, they were bounties at $1.5 million.
No. Like they just was like establishing shots showing random different people.
Oh, sure, but
but the real open was the Stop and Shop.
Yes,
where Spike goes in and handles
a couple people holding up a gas station place.
Which seems really below their pay grade if this is between 22 and
1.5 million. I mean, that's probably enough to fuel up their crafts and get some food. But apparently, were they only eating noodles, or was that a different episode?
No, that was only eating noodles.
So, it was enough to, I'm assuming, get fuel and stuff, but, only noodles, no meat.
You know what's funny? In the show, they're always starving. But in the movie, they can afford noodles. But
they're not necessarily starving. They're just hungry most. There's an episode or two where they're starving, where they don't have food.
Yeah.
But most of the time, they're just hungry and they don't have what they want. There's one episode where they have a basket of eggs from Ed's father. But the girls have left. So they're just, eating these eggs, these hard-boiled eggs, and there's, 40 of them. They're just f***ing house of these eggs. And it's kind of it's that high emotional point that you don't expect. Just should have been in the other episode, where they're eating these eggs because they're upset that the girls are gone, but they're also hungry, and it's
right. Because
it's a pretty high emotional point for the show for those two guys,
right? Because it's not all those places are set for everyone else that are gone. The girls plate for the girls and plate for the dog, but everyone else because I'm left with Ed. And
speaking of, Ed is a girl and a boy at the same time.
She's a girl.
She is, but even in the movie, they mention Faye calls her a boy,
right?
And my wife was because she wasn't watching the whole thing. She was like, "That's a boy," and I'm like, "No, it's a girl." They muddle it here and there.
She's androgynous in the way she looks, so she could be either or. So anyway, yeah, it's a good movie. Watch it. It's Cowboy Bebop. Enjoy.
Did we say what we were going to watch last time?
No, we're going to do that now.
Okay.
So normally this would be on the main show, but since we did Cowboy Bebop and in the show, we're going to discuss what we're talking for next week, which is D. We're not spinning this go around on the wheel because we got tired of watching bad anime, which is just a string of good anime. So, what are we watching, Shawn?
I'm not picking D. That's you.
I know, but what are we watching, Shawn?
Dragon Ball.
The first arc.
Not Z. Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Super, not GT.
I know we don't have to do this because everyone knows what Dragon Ball is, but you know what?
Most people don't, though. Most fans of Z don't know what Ball is.
That's fair.
Or if they know of it and never watched it.
That's fair. But at the same time, we do this every episode. You want to go read the description of Dragon Ball?
Yeah. Dragon Ball. Goku in his purple outfit. Plot summary. Bulma is a girl in search of the mystical Dragon Balls that, when brought together, grant any wish. In her search, she bumps into the owner of one of these balls, a strange boy named Goku. The two of them set off together. Bulma in search of the Dragon Balls, and Goku on a quest to become stronger. And I just remembered.
The first episode.
I don't know if it's the first episode or not.
I think it's the first episode
where he's like,
"Oh no, that's a little later." But
we'll talk about it.
Where Goku,
I was watching it with my son, and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's 4." And we'll talk about it more next episode. It'll become clear.
Yes, I mean,
if you watch Dragon Ball, you know what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. And if you haven't watched Dragon Ball,
go watch it. It's a good shonen.
Yeah,
it's classic. It's dated, sure, but it's a good classic shonen. Some episodes you can skip, some you can probably put on 1.5 speed, but it's good.
And let's be realistic. This is the show that got anime to America.
It started everything.
Yes.
Although I don't know if Ball aired in America before Z. I think Z aired first.
Yeah, but even if it didn't, this is what led to Z.
Sure.
So
I mean, it's what gained popularity and what brought Z over.
Yes.
Sure.
So
paving the way.
You need to get to the actual audacity to stop this recording.
All right, guys. Next episode.
Dragon Ball. Bye.
Dragon Ball.